guys, Peppermint here, and welcome back to my channel. We are back with more Royal Alchemist, and last time we played, we were in the middle of a scene with the wonderful Nazir here. When I went back and watched that scene as I was editing my video, I realized that there were some weird implications that maybe Nazir and this maid were, doing something something suspicious. I don't know. I didn't notice it when I was playing, but when I went back and watched the video, I was like, this seems kind of dirty. So anyways, take that as you will, interpret it however you want. Let's get started. So Harris storms into the room, his brows furrowed together into an impressively bristling V. Oh dear, Harris, old man, what an unexpected pleasure. How is my prodigal brother, the black sheep of the family, Aurelius? He is perfectly well, your highness, and what's more, busy doing his duties. Duties? Never heard of him. Tastes good with milk, what? Your highness, please. Harris narrows his eyes while actually glaring at the prince. It's the very first time I've seen the man wearing a clear emotion except for amusement. Raphael has been looking all over the palace for you over a matter of considerable urgency, and here you are doing heaven knows what with the domestic help. I was polishing the silverware, wasn't I, Peppermint? Yeah, you were polishing her silverware. Real good. To the best of my knowledge. Polishing the silverware. A prince of the blood polishing the silverware. Pray tell me, your highness, for what reason do we hire maidservants if not to polish silverware? If you absolutely force me to take a stab at it, sweeping the floor perhaps? Sweeping the floor. Very good, your highness. Very amusing. You see me bent over in mirth, unable to catch my breath. I always fancied a scintillating sense of humor as one of my most attractive traits. Nazir deflects Harris's glare with his usual deceptively gormless grin. Aw, leadership fail. Is it that appalling to help an overworked maid polish some silverware? That really was what he was doing, you know. Maybe he was actually just polishing silverware and I'm just a disgusting pervert. I mean, who knows? Exactly. A true king is a servant of his people. He is a servant of his people, your highness, but not a servant himself. Turning to me, Harris answers my question with barely concealed impatience. A prince or a king derives a great part of his authority from his prestige. The commons love a king who has prestige. The army follows him. His counselors listen to him, and the nobility kneels before him. This speech again? Clearly you need reminding, your highness. To be seen helping servants polish silverware or scrub the floor or clean the stables. Why, if you were seen, rumors of it would soon swirl through the court and beyond. Then the commons and the nobles alike would lose all respect for you, and were that to happen, you would never command them again. Small loss, never wanted them in the first place. I love Nazir. I think he's best boy so far. I mean, like, appearance-wise, I honestly wasn't the most attracted to him, but his personality is just awesome. Consider, your highness, the possibility of illegitimate children and future pretenders warring for the throne. Illegitimate children? Future pretenders? Isn't that outcome a little drastic for simply polishing silverware? Suddenly eager to prevent Harris from seeing more, Nazir throws an arm around his shoulder and pats his chest. Harris, my dear chap, I admit that I may need the occasional reminder now and then, but does Peppermint here? For one moment the man looks slightly confused, before he looks at me and understanding sinks in. You mean Lady Rosencrantz? Yes, yes. The point is, we have work to do, and I suggest we get down to doing it rather than wasting any more time. What say you? Harris gapes at him as if unable to credit the sheer audacity of his cheek. Nazir chooses to take his silence as agreement and tugs his arm cheerfully towards the door. Heave ho, eh? Back to work we go. As the two men leave, the maid, forgotten until now, takes the chance to scurry after them. Shaking my head in bemusement at this incident, I carry on walking back to my bedroom, wondering just what caused the tray of silverware to clatter onto the floor in the first place. I may be completely off base here, but I think they were totally making out. Just a thought. All right. All right. So we did create a bond last time, so I believe that did allow us to do a mission, but we haven't had any classes for a while, so we haven't been working on our skills, and I think we should do that. Um, so let's see. Our leadership is pretty good. Our intelligence is quite good. We need to work on our combat, our charisma, and our beauty. So let's change that. Okay. As for these guys, let's see what they need to be at in order to make some of these things. 5 fire, 20 darkness. So, anyone have that? Nazir is our fire boy, so he's been learning wind though. I guess we can stop having him learn wind for a while now because he's quite good at it. Um, we can have Aurelius learn fire as well because he already has more than 20 darkness. As for, I always forget his name, Saren. I want to call him Salem. I don't know why. I think it's because Saren sounds really feminine to me, but I mean, all right, let's go back and see. For the healing salve, we need 10 wood, 5 water, 5 wind. He has almost enough wood, enough fire, and almost enough wind. So Um, let's have him do that. All right. Start. All right, weekly income 85 coins. So because we've been doing missions, we're now getting more money. I look up from the dim lamplit notes on my desk where I had been scribbling lecture notes for tomorrow's lessons. Who could it be at this hour? Whoever it is, he isn't going away. I heave a weary sigh and push myself upright. One moment. Persistent, isn't he? I call as I walk towards the door. What an impatient person. I pull the door open, eyeing the young guard standing before me balefully. Good evening, Lady Rosencruz. Good evening. What can I do for you? I'm a guardsman in the retinue of Prince Aurelius. He wants me to convey to you his urgent desire to meet you immediately. Oh. Apparently I'm just not smart enough for Aurelius. Not again. This is the third time in 2 weeks he's dragged me out of bed to attend to his whims. He's admittedly not the most considerate of masters. Now, you probably shouldn't say that in front of the guards, Peppermint. Don't talk badly of the princes. Keep that in your head. All the same, I do wish the prince would stop summoning me at these ungodly hours. So do I, Lady Rosencruz. It isn't easy for any of us in his retinue either. Oh well, if you're ready to go, so am I. Good, please come with me. The guardsman leads me down the corridor from my room into the arching hallways beyond. The sounds of our steps are swallowed into the vast midnight silence. I shiver, not just from the cold. Who are the guards lining the corridors? I don't recognize even one of them. They are certainly not the men the Regent assigned to me. The men whom I had been given to understand will never be replaced in their duties without the Regent personally informing me. Something is wrong, and I am mentally kicking myself for not realizing it earlier. Or did Aurelius not summon us? These people are not my guards, or not even real guards. They're imposters. Oh, snap. I look at the young guardsman leading me, a fresh wave of horror dawning upon me when I realize he's not even carrying a sword. If these guys are imposters, how did they get in the castle? He doesn't think he does not think he needs a sword. He's confident he can restrain me, a Rosencrantz without one. He must be a magic user then, and one of no little skill. Things are quickly spiraling from just an annoying midnight jaunt to downright terrifying. Um, oh boy, that escalated quickly. The one advantage I have in my favor is that my opponents take me to be much more stupid than I am. They do not suspect yet that I have seen through their trap. This, as I see it, opens up two courses of action I can take. The first, to be aggressive and strike a forehand blow, attacking them immediately in the hope of catching them by surprise and throwing them off balance sufficiently to make my escape. Where are the real guards? Like, how did these guys get in the castle? The second, to be clever and deal a backhand blow, following them obediently and biding my time until they make their move. Then retaliating in a surprise counterattack when they are expecting a lulled, unsuspecting prey. Ah! Okay, that's a tough one. I feel like if we choose the wrong thing, we're like seriously gonna die. Um, well, attacking people worked before, and I don't know, I feel good about our combat skills, so rest in peace, Peppermint. Attack, so they say, is the best form of defense. Time to put this old adage to the test. Item check fail and combat fail. Oh no. I fall back a step, my hand straying towards the hilt of a fake guardsman flanking my left. My escort, ever watching me carefully, snaps around quick as a blink. Hey, what? Before he has the chance to finish the sentence, I whip the sword out of the scabbard. I thrust the sword at him, but my aim is off and it only grazes his ribs. He winces in pain, but the wound has by no means incapacitated him. Damn. Clever. Not clever enough. I lunge at him again. I'm so dead. The assassin raises an arm and a gust of wind smashes into me, knocking me down onto the ground. Gasping desperately for breath, I try to stagger back on my feet. A violent shock slams my back, forcing me to my knees. Something glints before my eyes. Metal. A spike. The sharp, wicked-looking head of a pike. Dark, hot liquid is running down the length of the blade and dripping onto the floor. Oh my god, did we seriously just die? Someone help. Game over? Holy shit. Oh my god. I actually died, okay. Reload. Okay, before I pick this other option, I just want to say, like, we have a bunch of guards in this castle. Like, who are these people? How did they get in? Why is nobody helping us? Like, that just seems so sketchy. Follow them, okay. It's best to be patient for a while longer. I'll continue following them as if I suspect nothing. Oh no. Well, this isn't going to go well, is it? Who knows? Perhaps they might even take me to be the mastermind who's behind all this. Yeah, I doubt it. This way, please, Lady Rosencruz. We're going through the garden? Why can't I just, like, scream for help or run or something? That's so. I'm very conscious of the proximity of the other guards, who were once trailing a respectful distance behind me, but are now crowding uncomfortably close. As I step out of the hallway, I hear the chilling sound of steel rasping out of its scabbard. My escort suddenly lunges towards me, hand outstretched, the first syllables of a spell on his lips. An insidious numbness creeps over my body. Die, Rosencruz. Why? A violent shock slams my back, forcing me onto my knees. Alright, we're dead. We're dead. Okay, so we have failed whatever is needed to get past this part of the game, so I'm gonna try and figure that out. Okay, so this has been unexpectedly difficult. I actually had to go all the way back to week 7. Thank goodness I saved, but I raised my intelligence, I raised my leadership, and I made a bomb. So I have played through this like 2 or 3 times and died every time. I would like pass one check, but then I didn't have the right item, or I passed one intelligence check, but my leadership failed. So hopefully I am okay now. Let's see. Alright, so come to think of it, whenever Prince Aurelius wants something done urgently, he has his trusted Harris to carry out his wishes. So, as you can see now that we have passed the intelligence check, Peppermint has realized that something is amiss with the situation. So for a meeting of considerable urgency in the middle of the night, no, it ought to have been Harris, not this nameless guardsman without so much as a sword buckled to his side. It's possible this person is up to no good, and I should prepare to defend myself just in case. But with what? Alright, item check success. I suddenly remember the pile of bombs lying on the desk of my study. They're too cumbersome to be inconspicuously carried, and too powerful to be used inside the castle's narrow corridors. But with a little effort and ingenuity, they can be transmuted into something smaller. Darts, for example. Hang on, I need to prepare something first. Okay, I should still be okay because I have high leadership. His Highness did not instruct you to bring anything to him, but His Highness wants to meet you immediately. You do not have to bring and prepare anything, Lady Rosencruz. You just have to follow me. He narrows his eyes at me, his tone becoming more and more curt and peremptory. There we go. Okay, you presumptuous bumpkin. Oh, you dare take this tone with the prince's own tutor? I... His Highness communicated to me himself his wish to see the results of the fire preservation vials I made this morning for an alchemical experiment he wants to do. He may not have communicated this wish to you, because he deems you lack the wit to understand more than 2 sentences stringed together. Oh my god, Peppermint. Savage. But that does not make his wish, or the preservation vials that they involve, any less important to him. Do you understand? The guardsman's wary look has faded into a sort of happy complacency. I see, Lady Rosencruz. Please take your time. I hope you will forgive my rudeness just now. No need to tell His Highness, right? Of course not. Give me a moment and I'll be done. I smile faintly, rub my eyes, and stumble back into the study. My back carefully blocking the sight from the door, I gather the bombs to the center of the desk. Keeping my voice well nigh inaudible, I mutter the water spell required to transfigure their shape, and a fire spell followed to force them into a new volume. It is a crude and hasty attempt, but it works. To my relief, the bombs shrink into the shape of small darts, which I slip inside my pocket. I return to the door, feeling appreciably more confident than I did before. All done. Thanks for being patient. Good. Please come with me. We can still die, so I hope this goes well. The guardsman leads me down the corridor from my room into the arching hallways beyond. The sounds of our steps are swallowed into the vast midnight silence. I shiver, not just from the cold. Okay, so we've seen this part. Yeah, the guards are imposters. They have swords and look as if they know how to use them. The one advantage I have in my favor is that my opponents take me to be much more stupid than I am. They do not suspect yet that I've seen through their trap. This, as I see it, opens up two courses of action I can take. The first, to be aggressive and strike a forehand blow. Okay, so this is the same. Alright, so this can still go badly, so let's follow them. Alright. Item check success. This way, please, Lady Rosencruz. We're going through the garden. That's so. Alright. As I step out of the hallway, I hear the chilling sound of steel rasping out of its scabbard. My escort suddenly lunges towards me, hands outstretched, the first syllables of a spell on his lips. There is no time to lose. I dip my hand into my pocket, my fingers closing around the shape of an explosive dart. Hey, what? I grab the dart and hurl it at the assassin's face. Without waiting to see what happens to him, I spin around. Just in time to see the guardsmen lining the corridor advancing on me, teeth bared, steel agleam in red under the flickering lantern light. They're not speaking, but somehow coordinating their movements through growls and snarls that sound more beast than man. Blank and black, their eyes hold not the slightest trace of consciousness or thought. Oh, so these are probably the same guys that attacked us before, because those guys we thought were being mind-controlled. I cannot be mistaken, they stand under some kind of mind-controlling spell. A wicked-looking pike sings a cold song in the night air as it pierces towards me. I step aside and toss another dart in the general direction of my attacker. Another lurid explosion and two more assassins are destroyed, obliterated where they stand. Swords and pikes stare together in unison as the remaining assassins prepare for an all-out charge, their puppet master no doubt hoping to overwhelm me by the sheer weight of their numbers. I just want to know, how are the other people in the castle not hearing the explosions and coming to help me? Why am I all on my own? That, I think, with bleak satisfaction, is the weakness of mind control magic. The caster can sense when his puppets are experiencing a setback, but he is not able to discern exactly why. Grimly, I reach into my pocket and draw out two more darts. Half of my attackers are dead, literally blown into bits, along with the wall and most of the floor they were standing on. As for the other half, the assassins have to be stopped. More than that, whoever is controlling them has to be stopped. I have to capture at least one assassin alive. I keep myself alive too, of course. To do that, I'll need the help of the palace guards, the real ones. Garyon! Garyon is Lord Marshal of the realm and commands the palace guards. I have to find him. Find Garyon. Clinging on desperately to this thought, I half walk, half stumble in the direction of the barracks. Thank goodness there are no signs of assassins around the vicinity of the comforting iron and stone citadel that is the palace barracks. I dash up to the door and start hammering it furiously. Within a minute it swings open and Garyon, fully clad in plate armor, is glaring down at me. You again. You better have a good reason to wake me at this hour, Rosencruz. I think I have a pretty good reason. Assassins in the palace. I was ambushed outside my room. Assassins? His hands raised instinctively to clutch the pommel of the sword by his side. I heard loud noises coming from your wing of the palace. And you didn't come help me? Why? I thought it was another one of your alchemical experiments, but it was in response to the ambush. You're useless. It was. I managed to kill most of those who were sent to lure me out of the palace, but a few might have slipped away. Then we have no time to waste. I shall dispatch the guards I have here to protect the princes immediately. You will not, Lord Marshal. They are needed. The safety of the princes is our highest priority. As they should be, but the assassins are not after the princes, they are after me. That is what you believe. That is what I know. Besides, they've already killed most of the assassins. The princes, with their training in magic, are more than capable of taking care of the remaining few, who in any case have not any interest in them. A risk we cannot take. A risk we have to take. If we do not want endless repetitions of tonight, we need to do all we can to catch the mastermind behind this outrage. That means taking at least one of the assassins alive for interrogation. Carrion clenches his teeth as he reflects on my proposal, its merits conflicting with his natural apprehension for the safety of the princes. I hold my breath, hoping it is enough to convince him. At last he sighs and slowly nods. Very well. Tonight I shall do. Very well. Tonight I shall do as you advise, Lady Rosencruz. Let us pray you have not misread the situation, and the princes are as safe as you believe them to be. You have my gratitude, Lord Marshal. My plan is this. I speak quickly, painfully conscious of how little time I have, before the assassins pick up my trail once more and track me down to the palace. I shall craft a paralyzer to disable one of the assassins. For a few minutes he will be utterly incapable of using magic. That gives us the time we need to knock him out and restrain him from committing self-injury. No simple feat. There are many ways for a man determined to kill himself to do so. We'll need handcuffs, manacles, ropes, a gag to stop him from biting off his tongue. Quite so. You have all these things in the barracks? We have everything except the gag, but a cloth rag should be more than an adequate substitute. You have any particular assassin in mind as your target? Yes, the guard sent to apprehend me was, unlike his fellows, unarmed. I have reason to believe he is a magic user and probably the officer leading this attack. The others are likely merely brainwashed mercenaries. Among all the assassins, I believe he is the most capable of divulging useful information about the mastermind. My guards and I shall endeavor to take the magic user alive, but I suspect the rest of the assassins may try to kill him once they realize we are attempting to take him prisoner. Then we must kill the mercenaries before capturing the magician. An audacious plan, but a sound one. Go and prepare your paralyzer while I rouse my guards. We have not a moment to lose. At once, Lord Marshal. Carrion opens the door wider, and I head into the barracks. Tonight is the last time the assassins are taking me by surprise. From now on, surprise shall be on my side. Are you ready, Lady Rosencruz? Pushing my sweat-drenched hair away from my eyes, I look up from the forge in the barrack armory, the newly crafted paralyzer in my hand. I am. And your guards? They're eager and raring to go. But where? Since they are not taking the fight to us, we should take the fight to them. Garyon and I lead the guardsmen in the barracks down the length of the corridor. Before long, we hear the clanking of mailed boots on stone floor, growing louder with each passing second. Not long now. We enter a cavernous hallway midpoint between the barracks and my study, and almost exactly at that same instant, the surviving party of assassins does as well. There she is. Get her. Guards, charge. With these two battle cries, the fight commences. Though the assassins resist fiercely, they are outnumbered, especially when taking into account more than half of them are badly burned by the explosive darts I threw at them. The remaining ones fight like wild beasts brought to bay, and it takes us a great deal of effort and time to put them down one by one. I, too, join in the fight, saber of ice in my hand, slashing and thrusting a way clear to reach the spellcaster commanding the assassins in the rear, who, seeing the fight is going against his men, has turned around and is fleeing pell-mell down the hallway. I chase after him, grimly determined not to let him escape. You're not getting away so easily. I ready the paralyzer in my hands and brace myself. This one we absolutely have to take alive. Take that! I squeeze the trigger, watching an arc of pale blue electricity shoot from the crossbow, striking the spellcaster between his shoulder blades. I'm so cool. Caught inside a coil of electricity, his body shudders and writhes as the paralyzer electrocutes him, frying his nerve endings and rendering his muscles into jelly. The electricity diminishes, fades. The assassin flops limply down for a precious minute or so, completely unable to move even a fingertip. Seize him! Garyon and 2 guardsmen pin the prone assassin onto the floor, binding his hands and feet in manacles. I hurry over the cloth gag in my hand. Quick, gag him before he bites off his tongue. Garyon takes the gag from me and forces the spellcaster's mouth open. As he does so, a glimmer of intelligence glints in the assassin's eyes, and he makes a broken croaking sound that might be a laugh. Funny, a Rosencruz. I put a hand on Garyon's shoulder, restraining him. Sorry, but you're not allowed to die. The spellcaster gives no sign of having heard me. Instead, he makes that croaking sound again. I'd never have thought of Rosencruz putting magic chains on someone else. My heart freezes. Does he know? The petal markings on my neck, which have been hurting me the entire night, are now exquisitely painful. So whitely, burningly agonizing, I find it hard to breathe, let alone think. He sticks out his tongue, teeth shining white. Quick! Garyon stuffs the gag in just in time. The spellcaster's throat spasms wildly as he fights to spit the cloth out. Garyon further winds another cloth band around the spellcaster's mouth, securing the gag inside fully. He grunts and looks over his handiwork with the knowing eye of a master craftsman. Not bad. That should stop him from getting up to mischief. He nods at the guard standing behind the assassin, who steps up and smashes his pommel hard into the spellcaster's hands. The spellcaster ceases struggling and grows limp, swooning into a dead faint. Garyon looks over his shoulder and frowns at me. What did he mean, a Rosencruz putting magic chains on someone else? Nothing. I don't know. I find my breathing growing shallower and shallower. My head is spinning, or the world is spinning. I cannot concentrate, cannot focus. The markings, like 1,000 red-hot daggers piercing my neck, sinking into my vulnerable flesh. I swallow the thick saliva that is suddenly filling my mouth. I'm afraid I'm not feeling. Lady Rosencruz! Oi, Lady Rosencruz! So well. I feel my legs buckle under me. The world turns dark. End of demo. Alright. So, we've done it. We've reached the end. As I expected, it ended on a cliffhanger, a really big cliffhanger. Maybe the Rosencruz family isn't so innocent. Maybe they've done bad things. Maybe these assassins are after us for good reason. I want to share a few thoughts that I have on this demo so far. Overall, it's really amazing. I absolutely love the story so far. It's got a lot of different plots going on. Of course, getting to know the princes and the romance aspect of that. Um, the mystery behind the kingdom, the mystery behind the Rosencruz family, if they're all connected somehow. It's really interesting, and I'm so eager to find out what's actually going on here. Um, the whole stat raising element of it and the missions and alchemy adds something unique to this game that you don't see in a lot of indie um, visual novels. Usually, most visual novels I play are just that, just a visual novel without anything extra added to it. So, as bad as I am at stat raising, I actually really like that about this game. Because the story is interesting enough that I can kind of force myself to push through that part. Of course, the art's good and all of that, but there are a few things that bother me. It's written really well, but the sentences are super hard to read. I really think the writer of this game would benefit from reading it out loud and realizing that some of the sentences just don't flow that well. But I mean, then again, I'm super critical when it comes to writing style, so that might just be me being my super critical self. But overall, the writing is really well done. And I really hope that the game uh, just offers some guidance, on what stats you have to have, what items you might have to have, because I literally had to go back several weeks to get past that part at the end. Um, because I had been doing missions and making other things instead. Um, I didn't realize that I was not doing the things that I actually needed to be doing. And I wish the game had just been a little bit more clear about some of those things. Because, of course, going back and having to replay multiple times over and over again, it gets really tedious. But overall, this game is really awesome. I recommend that you play it yourself, make some different choices, and I absolutely am going to play the full game when it comes out, and I can't wait until then. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day!